when somebody, an ordinary American, goes into a job interview, lying about one line on their resume is enough for disqualification. Lying about every line on your resume is truly unprecedented.
That Long Island, New York politician says it is time for a newly elected congressman to step aside. As Gabe Gutierrez reports, troubling new allegations first reported by the New York Times say George Santos has misrepresented just about every key part of his career.
Baruch College, NYU, Goldman Sachs, and Citigroup all tell NBC News they have no record of Santos, despite being listed on his campaign biography. Also, a tax-exempt animal rescue group he claims to run is not listed on the IRS website. The Times raises questions about how Santos managed to lend his campaign $700,000. The paper also reports unresolved criminal charges against Santos involving fraudulent checks in Brazil. The local GOP chair calls the allegations serious and says he looks forward to Santos's response. Democrats are now calling for a House ethics investigation.
He's got to stand up and say whether or not he's been honest. And if he hasn't, then he should not be seated.
Santos's attorney did not respond to specifics of the Times report, but said in part it is no surprise that Congressman-elect Santos has enemies at the New York Times who are attempting to smear his good name with these defamatory allegations.
Deflect and project. Blame the New York Times. That is the way. Joining me now, Jason Johnson, a politics and journalism professor at Morgan State University and an MSNBC political contributor, and David Jolly, former Republican and former member of the U.S. House of Representatives. He's now chairman of the Serve America movement and an MSNBC political contributor. This story, guys, Jason, that Long Island politician we started the segment with, said this is the most selfish case of lying he has ever seen. Do you agree? I mean, politicians lie all the time, but this one's extraordinary.
It's not illegal to lie when you run for office. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's not. Is it terrible? Yes. Do we wish politicians wouldn't lie? Yes. But as of right now, unless he filed false forms, he has not broken the law. So I don't think it's the most egregious thing. Frankly, Stephanie, the part that offends me the most is this is not the first time he ran. He ran against the previous Democratic incumbent, and they didn't catch him then. So I'm disappointed in the state Republican Party, the state Democratic Party in New York that has let this guy run 2 times and never found out some obvious information. I have 19-year-old interns who could have figured out that this guy didn't actually go to college. I don't know how they missed it.
Okay, then right there, David, this is where I'm a dum-dum, right? I always thought when someone wanted to run for office, you would see their party do a ton of research. Did they have skeletons in their closet? What did they do? Are they squeaky clean enough to run? Was there no opposition research on the part of the Democrats here?
Yeah, look, New York was the Wild West this cycle, and that's the excuse you're hearing from both sides of the aisle a little bit tonight. You had a high-intensity gubernatorial race. You had the congressional districts undecided until the final step. But listen, everybody missed this, and so they all deserve responsibility. The question, I think, that the Democrats have raised is, should he be seated? And look, Jason makes a good point. Lying this much might perfectly qualify you for the United States Congress, but there is a question of whether or not he is actually qualified to be seated on January 3rd, which then leads to the question, Stephanie, he has expressed his undying support for Kevin McCarthy. And we are watching whether or not Kevin McCarthy can secure enough votes to become Speaker of the House. He needs Santos. Santos needs McCarthy. Bring in the corrupt bargain, if you will, between the two of them to make sure both of them survive January 3rd.
Okay, well, could the law save us here, David? Fellow Congressman-elect Daniel Goldman has suggested federal crimes may have been committed here. Could he actually be facing legal troubles? If Congress won't do the right thing, could the law?
Yeah, the question there comes to some very specific campaign filings. As a candidate and as a member of Congress, you have to disclose where your income came from, where your employment is, any other conflicts. If he misrepresented that, sure, he could face penalty. Does he face criminal penalties? Does it prevent him from being seated? Very likely not, but he could face an ethics question, which goes all the way back then to today's Republican caucus. Is Santos somebody that you want in your caucus that you will validate and elevate alongside Kevin McCarthy, but also alongside Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, and others? Look, Santos, in traditional political analysis, is one news cycle away from forever being labeled a fraud. If he does not present evidence that says the New York Times is actually wrong, instead of doing this denial circus, then he will forever be branded a fraud and likely only serve one term in the Congress. But that term will be significant enough to support Republicans' majority.
But that's one national news cycle. Jason, I want you to put your journalism professor hat on. Is this right here a warning of what happens when local newspapers are gutted, right? The national news doesn't elect someone. It's local news. It's locals who have to elect someone. And people of that community wouldn't have known any of this because they don't necessarily have a local paper.
Yeah, Stephanie, I'm conflicted because on the one hand, it was the New York Times that found this out. And again, this wasn't complicated. Like, it's really easy to look up. I mean, I did it as a campaign intern for Republicans and Democrats when I was in college. I've done the Oppo work. This wasn't that complicated. I'm surprised no one at the Times thought about looking into this race earlier. So, yes, it is a local news problem. But here's the other thing that a lot of people don't know, and I know David knows this. A lot of times, local news gets their information from the Oppo research that is slid to them by an opponent. That's who often does the footwork. I've been in many a campaign where information is slid to the local media so that your actual campaign office isn't connected to it. So is it chicken or egg? Is it the local news didn't do their job, or is it that the campaigns didn't do their job? Yeah. I think the blame can go all the way around, and he's clearly not going to stay in office, past this one term.
Or is it the Trumpification of politics, David? You can lie about an election over and over and over and still make money off the grift and get people to follow you.
Yeah, so Stephanie, I love this because Kevin McCarthy needs Santos more than Santos needs Kevin McCarthy. The reality is we have seen these Republican elected officials, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Madison Cawthorn, who can nationalize a constituency over their own victimhood. And then they don't need the traditional infrastructure of the Congress to protect them and allow them to get reelected. Can Santos pull that hat trick that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Gaetz have pulled? I don't know. That's a tall order in New York politics compared to the deep red districts of those other two. But it's an interesting thing. Kevin McCarthy today needs George Santos more than George Santos needs Kevin McCarthy. And that's a sad testament to today's Republican politics.
We will be watching. Jason Johnson, David Jolly, thank you both for joining us. And let's just give David a shout out. We all know you're about to win a 10 out of 10 on Room Rater for those double Christmas trees. Bravo.
We
to
all
you.
need this season, Stephanie, the renewal, the self-reflection, the joy. Let's all share it, right?
Okay, that's pretty over the top what you've got going on, but I'm here for it.